How is this Phil Jackson, Carmelo Anthony situation going to play out in New York?
Listen, it's unfortunate. They've had a lot of tough, heartbreaking losses. I think, they haven't met expectations that I had and a lot of other people had for them to start the regular season. I think this team can really score. I think they have a lot of problems on the defensive end of the floor. Carmelo loves New York. He's always been open to that. If a few games flip the right way, he probably wouldn't be having this conversation with Phil Jackson. I think it's good they're having this conversation, air everything out, but this team definitely has a lot of pressure at 6 games under 500 to get some wins right now, real quick, get back in the playoff race, or else who knows what direction Carmelo Anthony's going to go.
And multiple outlets reported today that Melo and Phil Jackson had a meeting and they talked about it, that the airing of grievances, and Melo told Phil that he wants to stay in New York. I believe that. You believe that?
I absolutely do. He loves New York. I think one thing this team needs to do is they need to commit to him at the 4 spot. I think defensively, he can guard that position now in the NBA as he's getting older in years. He has a matchup advantage on the offensive end of the floor. Yesterday, he had 30 points on 10 for 16. He just lit up Paul Millsap at the 4 spot. Now, can KP play the 5 and defend the 5 and rebound at the 5 position? That's a big question. Do they keep Noah at the 5? They got to go down that road to see, but they got to build around Carmelo Anthony playing the 4, because when he's out on the wing, he struggles to defend those really quick, athletic guys.
Would you ever bring Porzingis off the bench? I mean, I'm listening to you say that. I'm like, you know what? That actually makes some sense from a Knicks fan perspective. I mean, I'd be open to that.
It does. I don't know how KP would deal with that, but Carmelo needs to play the 4 at this time in his career. Defensively, I think when you can get Lance Thomas at the 3, maybe Kuzminski at the 3, you get a little bit more athletic out on the perimeter. You can defend dribble penetration a little better. It's a tough decision that Jeff Hornacek has to make, and believe me, his face has said it all season. Right. He's had a really tough job. I think he's a tremendous coach. I really do. I think he's done a great job with this team. He's a smart guy. He knows the game. I think he's the right guy for the job, but he's got a lot of tough decisions to make with this roster.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see where the Knicks go from here now that Phil Jackson, Carmelo had this meeting. You know, I just hope they can get on the same page. I still had a big issue with Phil Jackson on CBS Sports Network calling out Carmelo Anthony when things were going so well, Wally.
I know. And, for a couple games, it looked like that motivated Carmelo. I don't think he meant to call him out the way it came about. I just think he wanted that ball movement to be good, and you had a couple guys that could help Carmelo unlike years past. Because you look at this team, Derrick Rose has played at a relatively high level.
Agreed.
He's been fairly healthy. The talk at the beginning of the season is if this team's healthy, they're going to be really good. They've been relatively healthy. Noah's coming on strong, rebounding the ball like a maniac. KP's been in and out of the lineup, and when he gets back, hopefully he helps this team. But, they got a long way to go being 6 games under 500, because the East, although they're not great, they're deep, and there are a lot of pretty good teams.